Welcome to the Pennsylvania Association for College Admission Counseling Virtual College Fair. Thank you for joining us. A few announcements before we get started. You can use the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions to our presenters at any time. Your camera and microphone are off, so the panelists cannot see or hear you. This is just one of many different sessions happening, so please be sure to sign up for more. The presentation is being recorded and will be available within about a week at strivescan.com/Pennsylvania. And now I'd like to turn it over to our presenters. And up first is Chatham University.
Hi, everyone. I'm so glad you all could join us today. I'm coming from Chatham University, and I'm so sorry. My VPN will not work as of right now, so I do not have a presentation, but I'd love to kind of go over a little bit about our university. So first off, Chatham is part of obviously Pittsburgh. We are located in a beautiful neighborhood in Pittsburgh and Shadyside, very walkable area. And what's so interesting about Chatham is that we have a student population of about 2,200, and yet we have so much around us. So a lot of times when you are a part of these smaller universities, you might think in the middle of nowhere, but nope, it's the exact opposite. We are so full of life and so full of different things you can do both on and off campus. Some really popular degrees that we offer our students are going to be our Master of Physician's Assistant Studies. We have our Doctorate of Occupational Therapy, Doctor of Physical Therapy. Psychology is huge on campus, as well as our Master's in Counseling Psychology, as well as our Creative Writing program. Some of those things that I had listed are part of our integrated degree programs, actually all of them. So they're 3+2, and that means that in 5 short years, you can receive your master's program or your master's degree, which is kind of unheard of. Some other really interesting elements of our campus, and maybe some of my absolute favorites, are going to be our study abroad opportunities. Every single student receives a $1,200 certificate in study abroad. And I'm so sorry if there's any noise in the back. There's doing some construction on my street. So there's a $1,200 scholarship. So 40% of our students will actually study abroad. And if you weren't sure, that is an absolute huge number. Because we give every single student that option, and because we make it so readily available for our students to study elsewhere, it's not if you're going to study abroad, it's where have you gone, which is really exciting for our faculty and staff to be able to kind of live through our students in that way. So beyond our amazing programs, we have some really great clubs. Being a small campus, I think sometimes it can be thought that there's not much to do, but it's really not the case at Chatham. We have everything from ukulele club to Quidditch club, all the way to our Go Green club, along with some really fun events. Even last year, we were able to put on some fantastic events, including a petting zoo. We did a carnival. We usually do yearly talent shows where you can show off exactly what you are good at and kind of perform for your school. We do Grocery Bingo, which is probably our most popular around campus. And that's just to name a few. They really do meetings and different activities every single week, because we want you guys to have fun away from the city, if that's what you're interested in. But if you want to go out to the city, you get a free bus pass. So some different perks of Chatham is that you will receive free Port Authority bus passes. That'll take you all around the city, so you won't have to worry about Ubering, and you won't have to worry about, oh my gosh, I have to walk to Target, and that's easy on the way there, but on the way back, it can get heavy, or taking all your bags. So we do give you that free Port Authority bus pass. Every single student also receives a MacBook, unless you're part of our interior architecture program or immersive media program. Those 2 particular programs receive Dells because they're more compatible. But every single other student receives a MacBook Air, and our IT services are really well equipped to work on those laptops. And I think that It's really great for everyone to come on our campus. We are open. If you are a senior in high school right now or a rising senior, you can actually begin your applications for free at the end of August. We are not requiring SAT or ACT scores. We are technically test blind, which is exciting to take the stress off of our students. And it is a free application on the Chatham application, which is on our website, on our Chatham website, or on the Common app. Depending on what you're more familiar with, I think a lot of students are familiar with that Common app. So we are accepting those starting August. Things will come quicker than you think if you are a senior. So definitely try to visit. We have a summer visit day in June and July. I'm sure those are going to be hopefully well attended since it's one of our first actual in-person events. Thank you so much for joining us. And if you have questions for me, my name's Cassidy, and I can put my contact information in the chat.
Great, thanks so much. Our next presentation is from Slippery Rock University.
All right, hello everyone. Just give me one moment while I try to make this work, I guess. If not, there's, all right, here we go. Sorry about that. So my name is Carla Romero. I am one of the assistant directors of admission at Slippery Rock University. And we are a medium-sized public institution in the state of PA. So there are 14 state system schools, and we are one of them. And we are located about an hour north of the city of Pittsburgh. So we have medium size. So we have about 8,800 total student enrollment. We're actually the 4th largest in the whole state system and the 2nd largest in the West. So some of our sister schools include like IUP, Clarion, Edinburgh, Cal, just to give you an idea, but does not include Pitt, Temple, or Penn State. Those are state affiliated institutions, so they kind of run a little bit differently from there. So I'll refer to PACAC throughout the presentation, but just so you know what I'm talking about in those 14. Now, our average class size tends to be about 25 students, 21-to-1 average faculty ratio. So nice small class sizes, but once you step outside, it's a little bit bigger. So I always call it like a Goldilocks feel. Not too big, not too small, kind of just right for everything from there. And now the community itself, it is in a small town. We are located in a town called Slippery Rock, PA. And there isn't a whole lot to do in the town, but we are located near Grove City, which is where the outlet malls are. And then of course, that just means that a lot more things are happening on campus. So I was just tell students just to be reminded, there's about 8,000 other people the same age as you doing their things. So there's always something to do, just depending what you're interested in. Now, Slippery Rock offers over 150 different undergraduate degree programs, many of those leading to graduate programs. So like previously mentioned, we have a PA program, a physician assistant, physical therapy, occupational therapy, and athletic training for 6 or 7 year accelerated options, whether that be a doctorate or master's, depending on the program. But we also have really unique majors like dance and music therapy that students can audition into from there. And then criminology, psychology, and of course, education, which is what we were founded as, is still very much a staple at the institution. So there's plenty to choose from. Students can dual major if that's something that you're interested in, or major and minor, or lead into other master's degree programs from there. And of course, getting involved is the next big thing. So there's plenty to be involved in from there. We are NCAA Division II. We play in the PACAC. So that's our conference, meaning we just compete with our other state system schools, but we are the strongest within the PACAC conference. We have football champions and women's soccer champions from there. So there's plenty of different things. And if you don't want to play at the NCAA level, club and intramural sports are also an option. Study abroad opportunities, of course, Greek life if you're looking to rush. We do have the honors college as well. So if you're looking for a way to kind of make yourself more competitive and add to your academic resume, that's of course a way to do it. The nice thing about being, our size is that it has all the big school experiences. So all those things that you're kind of looking for outside of the classroom can be involved as well from there. Now, Slippery Rock offers 2 different kinds of housing on campus, so both residential suites and traditional hall. So a lot of schools will have the suite style, which is basically, a big room, more private bathroom, and you're really just sharing one large space with another person. So there's not a lot of sharing and caring for the bathroom. So we offer that on campus, and it can be more or less private depending on how much space you want to share. But we also hold traditional halls, which is where you share a bathroom with the floor and you share a kitchen with the floor. And it's really a lot of students like the social aspect to it, but there's not as prevalent. So there's only about 5 floors of the traditional hall, whereas there are 6 buildings worth of the residential suites. So that kind of gives you an idea. Most students, 85% of our freshmen choose to live in the suites, and then the rest choose to live somewhere else. So we have housing for every freshman in the suites if that's something that you really want. You can, of course, can have a car on campus. It's $25 for the year to park your car on campus as a freshman or from anywhere from there. But we also do have our own transportation services just within the town of Slippery Rock itself. So you have transportation to get around off campus if you decide to move off campus to get around. And we also offer transportation to come back to Pittsburgh. So it's a monthly thing as well. If you're from a little bit further away, we offer break services where we take our students back to Harrisburg, Allentown, and Philadelphia from there as well. Now, the beauty of being a state system school is that we are super cost efficient. So to live in those suites, so private bathroom, private kitchenette, just you and your roommate, tuition for an entire academic year up to 18 credits, which is full time. All of the fees associated with it, your room, everything minus books and parking, you're looking at about a little less than $21,000 for one full academic school year for our PA residents. Traditional hall obviously is a little bit cheaper just for the sharing and caring portion. But again, most students stay in the residential suites to kind of give you an option or an idea of what that may look like from there. And there's plenty of different ways to finance your education at Slippery Rock. So that's the beauty of it, mostly based on your GPA, but Honors College will also consider test scores as well. And then things that you were involved in, things that you did in high school, anything that you have to offer, we will always take. So really the application wise, we're just looking for an online application, $30 application fee and high school transcript. We are not test blind, we are test optional, meaning that we will still look at your test scores from there. So that's something to be mindful of. And of course you can come and visit campus from there if you have any questions, but that's really all I have for you. Thank you guys.
Great, thanks so much. Next up is Waynesburg University.
Hi, everybody. I do want to apologize because my camera is not working, which technology doesn't always work with us, but I am very happy to be here and just want to go over a couple different things about Waynesburg. So to get us started, our quick overview is we are a private Christian liberal arts university, and we're located in the southwestern corner of Pennsylvania. So about an hour south of Pittsburgh and about 25 minutes north of WVU in Morgantown, West Virginia. We were founded back in 1849, so we've been around for quite some time. And our mission here is to educate students to make connections between faith, learning, and serving. So first up is faith on campus, and this is really important to us, but it is at each student's own pace. So you're not required to attend any chapel service or Bible study or faith-based event if you're not interested. There's a place for everybody at Waynesburg, so if that's something that you do want to get involved in, there are lots of opportunities for that. As you can see here, our Campus Ministry Center, Fellowship of Christian Athletes, our weekly chapel service, and Upper Room, which is an all student-led worship gathering. But if that's not of interest to you, that's okay too. There's plenty of other things that you can get involved with instead. So on to learning, we have 70 plus major and minor concentrations. And within those, we have 5 integrated bachelor's to master's programs. Those include athletic training, business, counseling, criminal investigation, and education. We do have a 13-to-1 student to faculty ratio. So we are relatively on the small side for colleges. We have about 1,400 students overall. And you've got an average of 16 to 25 students per class. So we do keep those small too, so that you get a lot of one-on-one time with your professors and your other peers. 100% of our academic departments do offer hands-on learning, whether that be through research opportunities or internship opportunities. It's very important to us that you're getting hands-on time within your field. So here is a list of our majors and different programs, along with our minors as well. They are listed alphabetically, so if you're looking for something in particular, you can find it quickly that way. But just to let you know, our top 5 majors here include nursing, criminal justice, forensic science, business, and education. So if you're looking at one of those 5 programs, we have well-established programs in those majors. So you'd be looking at a good opportunity, and we'd love to have you come and check us out for that. So in terms of athletics, we do have a lot of different options to choose from. We are a D3 school, so it does make the student athlete balance a little bit more doable. You get to play the sport that you love in college, but it doesn't take up too much of your time. But if a varsity level sport isn't something that you want to commit to, we have intramural sports as well in a lot of these different areas, and they're just for fun. Although there is a trophy at the end, so kind of competitive still, but does not take up as much as much of your time as a varsity level sport would. In terms of our scholarship opportunities, each student is eligible for a achievement award. So there are 5 tiers. As you can see, they range from $6,000 to $16,000 annually. So you'd receive this amount every year for all 4 years. It's not something we run out of or take away. It is awarded based off of your cumulative GPA or your cumulative GPA and your test score. We are not requiring test scores for the 2022 incoming class or the 2021, obviously, as that is the next upcoming year. After 2022, I'm not sure what the office will decide to do. We may not be test optional after that, but as of now, they are not required due to COVID. For any student who is coming from out of state, there is a $3,000 state scholarship that you would be eligible for as well, and that would stack right on top of whatever achievement award tier you were to land in. We also offer some competitive scholarships as well. So our Bonner Scholarship is for students who are really active in community service. Our Silver Scholarship is for students who have a passion for history, government, political science, things like that. Our Founder Scholarship is just for PA students, and it's full tuition and fees, which is very nice. And you have to have a 3.5 GPA or a 3.7 if you don't have test scores. With a 3.5 and you do have test scores, you need a 1200 or higher. Our last one here is our Waynesburg Christian Life Scholarship, which is a new one that we have, and it's for students who really want to grow in their faith over their college years. So moving on to our tuition, fees, room, and board, just to give you a picture of what that looks like. This chart here goes over where we get those numbers. $37,530 is where it starts, but no one actually pays that much. With your achievement award and FAFSA, if you choose to file that, other scholarships that you may receive, that number does come down relatively quickly. Because we are a private school, there is not a difference for in and out of state tuition, just as a reminder. And if you have any questions throughout the rest of the presentations, I'd be happy to answer those in the chat, or you can jot down my information here and I would be happy to chat with you further. We are also open for visits, and I really encourage those. I think they're great for the decision-making process and even just getting started exploring different schools. So come and visit us. We would love to have you. Thanks so much.
Thank you very much. Up next is Bard College at Simon's Rock.
All right, hello everyone. Let me just get this sorted here. My name is Olivia, my pronouns are she, her, hers, and I'm one of the admission counselors here at Bard College at Simon's Rock. So we are a 4-year residential liberal arts degree program located in Great Barrington, Massachusetts. We are part of the Bard College Network. So they are a traditional liberal arts school located in Annandale and Hudson, New York. Simon's Rock is their early college program. So for students who are currently in the 10th or 11th grade, who are feeling maybe pretty stuck in high school, feeling like they have accessed all of the different opportunities around them and they're just ready for college now, we accept them in to start their bachelor's degree without a high school diploma. So quickly, some fast facts. As I mentioned, we're located in Great Barrington, Massachusetts. That's the southwestern corner in the Berkshires. We're pretty small. We have about 400 students and an average class size of 11. What that means, though, is that our community is very strong and that our students are all there intentionally because they have this love of learning. So it's a pretty bold choice to decide to leave high school where you're at and start college younger than the rest of your peers. But what that really means is we have this collaborative community of students who are all really excited to be there. We are a liberal arts school, so students spend their first 2 years doing classes in a number of different disciplines to try and meet that liberal arts curriculum. And then they'll spend their second 2 years doing their college major. We call our majors concentrations. And the really cool thing about liberal arts in general, but also at Simon's Rock, is that our students have a lot of very different passions. And so many of them will do dual concentrations. If you have an interest in German and food studies, you're able to study both of those and engage really deeply. And again, we do have a bachelor's degree program. So after 2 years, students get their associate's degree. And after 4 years, you get a bachelor's degree, both from Simon's Rock. And you also get a diploma from Bard College. And we don't require your high school diploma in order for you to come to Simon's Rock, but we will support you in the process if you're wanting to get a GED. So why might someone come to Simon's Rock? Typically, we get 2 types of students. One might be, maybe you're an overachiever at your school, you always get straight A's, and you've talked to all your teachers and again, used up all these resources and there's really not much left for you. You're wanting to take your education into your own hands and really go explore out into the world. So we get those students, but we also get students for whom the traditional model of high school is not the best fit. It might be because all of the memorization and regurgitation doesn't match your learning style. So we see academic potential in these students, and these students, when they come to Simon's Rock, actually do a lot better than they ever did in high school because they're curious, engaged, and have this passion for learning, and that I think is kind of core to the student body. Another thing that's really unique about Simon's Rock is I would say every student has this passion to make a difference in the world and make the positive change that they want to see in the world in whatever way that might be and whatever their niche is. And so our student body has a passion for social justice and equality. And so for example, we have a week-long program in the fall called Symposium Week, where we dedicate that just to social justice. It's collaborative between the community for faculty, staff, and students to learn about whatever the social justice theme is for that week and get to engage together in that way. And then in terms of admission and financial aid, we do have a rolling admission process. So we accept applications at any point, though we do have some recommended deadlines. We also have a holistic review process. So this means that we want to get to know you as a whole person. We understand particularly that COVID has been very stressful on a lot of students. And we want to know all of the ups and downs of who you are, your educational journey, and how you see early college fitting into the grand scheme of your life. So we're looking at a number of different things, including your interview, your recommendations, your writing supplement, etc. So we are currently accepting applications for fall of 2021, but you can also look ahead to fall of 2022, or we accept students in a January start in the spring. We have both need-based, and merit-based financial aid available. About 80% of our students receive financial aid, so that is an option for you as well. We are test optional, and there is no application fee. All right, so I think that was all I wanted to go through. If anything that I said resonated with you, I would be happy to have a longer conversation with you. I know early college is kind of an unfamiliar concept. I hadn't heard about it before I started working at Simon's Rock, but it really does create a wonderful community where students can connect and start engaging and learning in the things that they're passionate about, which sometimes they might not feel that they can do in their high school. So if you do have any questions, there is our email and there is my contact information. Please go ahead and reach out, and I'd love to hear from you. Thank you.
Excellent, thanks very much. And next up is Union College.
Good evening, everyone. I'm glad to be here with you tonight. I'm from Union College. Union College is a liberal arts college located in Schenectady, New York, which is a small city, about 67,000 people, just 20 minutes from the state capital of Albany. I would say in most places in Pennsylvania, we're between 2 and 8 hour drive, but very close to Albany International Airport, so very easy to get to Schenectady. We have 2,200 students. As I said, we are a liberal arts college, but we are one of a few liberal arts colleges that offer ABET accredited engineering programs. So we have a really strong balance between STEM opportunities and opportunities in the social sciences, humanities, and the visual and performing arts. So about 50% of our students are going to majoring in a STEM field, about 50% in those other areas. But what I think is really special about Union is the integration that students find in their academic programs. About 80% of our students are pursuing more than one academic discipline. So if you're the type of student who would like to major in biology but continue studying a language, or major in electrical engineering but still be involved with the performing arts, or major in economics but want some information and some studies in environmental science, Union is that perfect place. When you're applying to Union, you're applying to the college. So you don't need to know exactly what you want to major in when you're applying. We hope that you'll come to Union and explore all different academic programs and really get engaged in those classes and figure out once you're at Union what you would like to major in or how you would like to pursue your interests. We are an undergraduate college, so all of our classes are taught by our professors. Our faculty to student ratio is about 10-1, and our introductory classes average about 21 students, and upper level classes average 14. So you are making connections immediately with the faculty. And this really pays off as students are developing their ideas and having those advisors who are going to help guide them and mentor them through their academic program. It is important that there are 3 immersive experiences that a majority of our students will take advantage of during their 4 years. 75% of our students will conduct undergraduate research, and this research may start in the end of the first year. And this allows you to find that area of particular interest and study it in depth. One of our favorite traditions at Union is Steinmetz Symposium, which happened just a couple weeks ago. And this is the celebration of undergraduate research, during which we have about 500 of our 2,200 students presenting research on Steinmetz Day. Another thing that a great number of our students take advantage of are internships. As high school is preparing you for college, we hope college will be preparing you for life after college. And having those experiences to apply what you're doing in the classroom into a real life situation is certainly important. And so we have about 40 internships within the local area, but a number of our students are doing their internships during the summer or during the month of December when our classes are not held. We have students from about 45 different states and 45 different countries. So we have students who are doing internships throughout the country and throughout the world. 60% of our students will study abroad, and we really feel like this is an important piece to understand different perspectives and appreciate different cultures. And so students are doing either a full term abroad or a mini term abroad and bringing those experiences back into the classroom, which is certainly so important. We are an inclusive campus. Students are living on campus. About 92% of our students stay in college housing all 4 years. We have over 130 clubs, everything from beekeeping club to the ski club to the ballroom dancing club to student government and performing arts and visual arts programs. We have 26 varsity sports. We're Division I in men's and women's ice hockey. It is important to note that Little Union with 2,200 students won the men's national Division I ice hockey championship about 5 years ago. Great feat. We also have 24 sports on the Division III level, and we play in the Liberty League. We also have a unique program called our Minerva Houses. It's a system of 7 houses, and all students belong to that. And that sponsors a lot of events and programs for the campus community. So even this year in the pandemic, the Minerva Houses were sponsoring all sorts of things for students to stay connected. We also have tremendous community service opportunities both in the local area. And so students are just connected in a number of different ways and have that balance between academics and all those other things that are going on in their lives. We do prepare students for life after union. 98% of our students have plans within 6 months of graduation, and you see the majority are going into full-time jobs, though a good percentage are also going directly into graduate programs, whether it be law school, medical school, education programs, PhD programs, all sorts of things. And a variety of students are doing fellowships and traveling or joining the military if they've been involved with an ROTC program. We are welcoming visitors to campus. We have been doing that throughout the year. So I really encourage you to come and take a visit. If you can't make it to campus but would like to learn more about Union, we also are having a number of virtual opportunities available as well. We are a test optional school. We have 3 different application types: early decision, early action, and regular decision. We are offering virtual interviews this year, and we do meet 100% of the demonstrated financial need of all students who are admitted to Union. And we also offer merit scholarships, and anyone who applies to Union is considered for a merit award. So that's a little about Union. Hopefully that has inspired you to look a little deeper. And I will add my contact information into the chat. So if you do have any questions, please feel free to reach out. Thanks so much.
Great, thank you very much. And up next is Penn State.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us. My name is Justin Vorbach, and I am the Associate Director of Enrollment at Penn State Beaver. And for this presentation, I'm going to be talking about Penn State as a whole, talking about all of the various options and opportunities that we have to offer. So as I transition over, this theme of options and opportunities, you'll see that built through everything that we have to offer at Penn State. Starting off with academics. So one thing that stands out about us is that you could study almost anything at Penn State. We have over 275 majors, 200 minors, and over 100 certificate programs. And inside of all of these different things are various options inside of that. So whatever you're looking to study, whatever passion or career you're interested in pursuing, I promise you Penn State has an option for you when it comes to academics. The students at Penn State can major, they can get double major, they can pair a major with a minor to really focus their academic studies. And these 275 majors are broken down into various areas of study. And frankly, we could do a whole entire presentation on each of these academic areas. But a few fun facts and highlights that I'll mention here today. We were founded back in the day as an agricultural school. So in the world of agricultural sciences, we have a lot of options and opportunities for you. Our business school is ranked up there with the Ivy Leagues, particularly in accounting, finance, and management. And then I'll skip all the way down for the sake of time to the last program, Undecided. At Penn State, we refer to Undecided as the Division of Undergraduate Studies. And believe it or not, it's our most popular starting program to come in undecided, getting partnered with a counselor and an advisor to figure out what you may be good at, what you may like to do. You can still graduate in 4 years. But all of our areas of study are there for you, and you can learn more about them through various presentations and online. Now, continuing the theme of options and opportunities, there are various pathways through Penn State. On the left, we have our 4-year plan, which is a more traditional plan, allowing you to start and finish almost all of our programs at various Penn State campuses. So if you're looking to study engineering, you could start and finish mechanical engineering at Penn State University Park. But we also offer something very unique to our university called the 2+2 plan that allows you to start almost any Penn State major at any location. And then after 2 years, you're given the choice to either stay at the campus you started at, if your program can be finished there, or you can transition to any other campus that has your ending major. Note how I use the word transition. You don't have to reapply or go through any kind of special review, and you certainly don't need to transfer to go from one campus to another. And this gives you a lot of flexibility and options, whether you're looking to stay close to home, if you live in Pennsylvania, or maybe you want to save a little money along the way. You have a lot of ways to navigate the Penn State system. Now, in terms of campuses, all of these little polka dots represent Penn State campuses. We have 20 locations throughout the state of Pennsylvania, keeping in mind that we are one university geographically spread out throughout the state of Pennsylvania. It doesn't matter where you start, finish, or go to in between. Your diploma is going to say the Pennsylvania State University and you have access to a world universities full of research and academic possibilities. Now, there are three key differences between our campuses, and those are size, cost, and location. And the center is Penn State University Park. And in terms of size, that location is by far our largest, with 45,000 students. We have campuses like Behrend, Altoona, Harrisburg, and Abington that range in size from 3,000 to 5,000 students. And then all of our other campuses, the other 14 or so, have 1,000 students or less, giving you flexibility and options depending on the campus size you're looking for. In terms of location, we have campuses near big cities like Pittsburgh and Philadelphia. We also have campuses like Penn State University Park that are cities in and of themselves, as well as other rural locations. And lastly, cost. The smaller the Penn State campus, the more affordable it is, meaning the lower the tuition cost and the higher chances you have of getting top financial aid. So there's cost savings built into the university whenever you're looking at different campus locations. Now, outside of the classroom, there's a ton to get involved in. We have 1,200 clubs and activities to choose from, practically anything and everything under the sun. In addition to clubs and activities, we are a Tier 1 research institution. We offer a plethora of study abroad opportunities. So there's no downtime for you if you want to stay involved and do things outside of the classroom. And frankly, I recommend every student doing that, getting as involved as you can outside of the classroom without it impacting your studies. Moving on past clubs and activities, I want to focus briefly on varsity athletics. Penn State has options when it comes to athletics as well. At University Park, we're NCAA Division I. We're NCAA Division III at some of our middle-sized campuses. And then Penn State is so large, we have our own athletic conference built into the university called the PSUAC, as well as we're part of a national conference at that level called the USCAA. So if you're looking to be a varsity athlete, we have several options for you, as well as club, rec, and intramural sports as well for you to get involved. Now, we've rushed through this presentation, but I do want to bring it all back together so you just get the general view of Penn State. Again, we are one university with 20 undergraduate campuses, 275 majors, 1,200 clubs and activities, and 77,000 undergraduate students. Now, we also have graduate programs and certificate programs if that interests you. But when you graduate from Penn State, you enter the world's largest alumni association, where 1 out of every 117 Americans with a college degree is a Penn State alum. And that will help you when it comes time to graduate, meaning that you're connected for life. And that's all I have for you. Thank you very much.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Thank you to all of our presenters. We now have a few minutes for some Q&A before we wrap up for the evening. So I'd invite our presenters to come back on camera and respond to this question. What advice would you give someone going through the college search process? And I'll ask our presenters to respond in the same order that they presented.
I would say to take your time and really think about the schools that you're interested in going. Visiting is really important. So if you narrow down to 15 schools that you're interested in instead of 40 schools, narrowing it down and thinking about what you really want and visiting those places, I think will help you at the end of the day make that final decision.
Yeah, I would echo that a lot. A lot of it would be into research and just making sure that the school is really a good fit for you overall. And that can be visiting different sizes. I thought I wanted to go to a really big school, ended up at a really small school just because it was overwhelming when I got there. But also looking into the programs and making sure they have your majors, financial aid. So it's a good job just to sit down and research and ask questions. Always remember, admissions counselors are really your advocate on the other side. So we're just here to help you. We're okay to ask questions and guide you through that process as much as we can. And then of course, visiting, because that'll really help you decide.
I also agree that doing campus visits is really important in the college search process. You're never really going to get a feel for a school unless you go there and see it for yourself and walk around and talk with people. And remember that it's about finding the best fit. So there's not a bad school out there, or it wouldn't be a school anymore. But finding what works best for you is the most important. You want to be comfortable where you are and have it feel like home, because that's what it's going to become for 4 years.
Yeah, I would echo all of that and say to talk to as many current students at each institution you visit as possible. They are the experts. They've lived through that experience every day, and they're going to really be able to give you an insight into what the day-to-day of your next 4 years might look like there and what the community is like there.
And I will just say that relax through this process, have some fun. You've just heard from a number of different types of schools. There's a school out there for everyone, and you might hear these, percentages. Oh, this school only accepts 3% of their applicants. Most schools admit many high percentage of their applicants. So feel comfortable, relax. Everyone gets to a school that works well for them. And so just have a little fun in the process, and you'll get to know yourself as well as lots of other areas of the country or the state.
And I got to say, I echo everything that's already been said. Finding your fit is by far the most important factor in there. But if I can give one little morsel of advice on top of that, it's to do things early. So the earlier you can visit, the earlier you apply for financial aid, it will honestly help you in the long run by giving you more options throughout. So make sure that you do things as early as you can, but also have fun in the process. That's one of the nice things about doing things early, is it gives you some breathing room at the end of the process once you find that school that's the right fit.
Excellent. Thank you all. So our next question is, what is your favorite event or tradition on campus?
I really like when they, it's not necessarily like an official event or tradition, but we have a huge hill called Chapel Hill, and our students will sled down it. It gets a little dangerous because the hill's pretty serious. So they actually set up hay bales so they don't go flying off the side of the road. But it's just hilarious to see students who we haven't seen all winter break because it's cold and they're like hidden in their, dorms. And then all of a sudden there's like 30 students down this hill, and you're like, were you guys here the whole time? So that's probably the most fun we have. And our president comes out and does it. So it's a lot of fun for wintertime.
So Slippery Rock actually has 4 traditions that we kind of carry throughout, but my favorite one is our Green and White Fridays. So everyone around campus really just kind of showcases their school colors, but it comes out even more prevalent during homecoming for us because we do have a big party essentially around campus that's hosted by the university and our Student Government Association. And obviously we typically go against one of our big rivals, so it's always a good, intense game. And we have a nice big rock on campus that we rub for good luck. So that's always fun.
So my favorite thing that we do at Waynesburg is called Charter Day Chicken, and it celebrates the day that Waynesburg was created as a school, so our charter. And it's this really good chicken. It's breaded and it has a gravy on top, and like they only make it once a year. So everybody goes, all the staff as well, because we love it. And I just love food. So you can never really go wrong when it's good food.
So Simon's Rock has a very large LGBTQ+ student population. So since all of our students go home during the summer, we celebrate Pride all week long in April. So that I think is my favorite thing, is that we started off with the raising of the campus or the Pride flag. And then we kick it off with our campus-wide drag show, and then just have community events throughout the week to get to know each other, support, and celebrate. And happy Pride to you all.
My favorite tradition at Union behind me is the Knott Memorial. I can't get out of the way. And that is a 16-sided building with doors on the east, west, north, and south sides. The west door is the only opened after graduation. So as students graduate, they walk out the west facing door for the first time. Union was founded in 1795. So the west was the new frontier when we were founded. And so it really symbolizes that the graduates are moving on to the next step in their lives.
My favorite event at Penn State is our dance marathon, more affectionately known as Thon. It's a 46-hour dance marathon, but it's actually more than that. It's a year-long effort to raise money to fight pediatric cancer that culminates in this 46-hour dance marathon, where if you're chosen to dance in this dance marathon, you're on your feet for 46 hours straight. You're treated like an Olympian, but more so than that, during that time, these children with cancer are there. And it gives them an opportunity to feel normal and to get a break from their reality. And all the money that we raise goes directly to cancer research each year. And by far, it's my favorite tradition and something that you have to check out. even if you don't attend Penn State, it's pretty cool.
Excellent. Thank you all so much. So we are out of time for this session. So I want to say thank you for joining us. When you close this window, there will be a link to a quick survey. We do appreciate your feedback. Just a reminder, this is one of many different sessions happening as part of this college fair. So please do sign up for more. And you'll be able to find a recording of this session and others in about a week online at strivescan.com/Pennsylvania. So thank you all so much and have a great rest of your evening.